Hello guys, and this is another video brought to you by WrestlingFanForLife98 up on the channel here today. WrestlingFanForLife98 version 1, and I am here and back to bring you guys a new video, a new upload on the channel here on the Wrestling Fan for Life, to bring to you on the Wrestling Fan for Life 98 channel, or aka Cameron. And yes, I am back, guys, after a week again. That's been removed, as I said, from when I did my my pay-per-view review that I did, and matches recap, well, of all my review and recap of Money in the Bank, of the WWE Money in the Bank 2021 pay-per-view. That was last week, well, that I did last Thursday. And I am back, guys, to bring you my last, well, a new video. And again, that this is, again, not to do, though, with, any, upcoming pay-per-views or anything like that. Although, again, at the end of the video, I am maybe going to just do, like, a quick, SummerSlam discussion. Maybe just a little bit of give my, thoughts on what I think maybe on, what matches, again, that could be, that I would like to see happen, well, to see at SummerSlam, or maybe again, like I said, do a little, SummerSlam discussion at the end of this. But that I am here, guys, to bring you, as I said, to bring you a video today, guys. Now, if you remember that that last year, I actually that if you go back to this time. This time last year, well, not quite this time a year ago, but that around this time last year in the summer, that I actually did, that I did a video that was on my top 5 male active pro wrestlers of 2021, of 2020, which, if you guys can remember, if you can remember that video I did last year, or if you have any, if you can, remember that at all, that I did, a year ago, which I'm not sure, again, that some people might, but again, just to refresh, that I did a video last year that was on my top 5 male pro wrestlers of 2020. That was only in WWE, though, only just the only wrestlers, again, like I said, that compete, male wrestlers that have competed, though, in WWE and AEW and All Elite Wrestling. And that, and that last year, if you can, remember that last year, my number one wrestler of 2020, I went with, was actually Randy Orton. I actually, again, had Randy Orton as my number one wrestler of 2020 last year. So that now that I am back here now to do my top 5 male active pro wrestlers now of 2021, guys, of this year, and as of so far, as of up to the end of July 2021, because, as I said, now we are again past the halfway point now of 2021, and I just feel that this is kind of a good time now, to be doing this, for me to do this top 5 list here. And then again, I always, like I said, like to do these, to go back and do these lists again, occasionally again, like that I have done with a few other ones. But again, that this is, I am here to do it again for 2021 now. So this is the second time doing this now for my top 5 of my top, video of my top 5 male pro wrestlers of 2021. And so that, yes, but again, like I said, that this is just, and this is again active pro wrestlers as well, and of my top 5 male active pro wrestlers. And by active, again, that basically I mean like wrestlers again who are basically, active, who aren't, again, just, part-timers or whatever, who have been performing, again, consistently. Well, again, I'll get into it in a minute. I'll go over it, and recap again. If you just, again, want, if you guys want me to just quickly go over of of how I do this, list, well, how I did it last year. It's similar again, like I said, to doing it, well, this time around. But again, I just, want to, basically, again, just quickly go over it again. So basically, that as a reminder, guys, that this list, again, goes based from January, from the start of the year, from January 2021, from the start of this year, and going up then to the end of July, because that's where we are now, because we're on the 30th of July today, Friday the 30th of July, as of when this is being recorded, when I'm recording this, when this has been recorded, and when I've done, this list, when this list has been done. Because I did the list actually last night. I did this last night on Thursday, that I wrote this list out. But again, because of the preparation and because of having to prepare doing it, that's why that it's being, that's why I'm doing it now. But again, and like I said, and to also just again to say that it's not again going to be featuring any tag teams as well. So tag team wrestlers, any tag teams are excluded in this list. And then again, it is just like I said before, that it is single wrestlers. They have to be single male pro wrestlers. Basically, just solo, basically singles wrestlers. Because that's to make it fair. And also as well, that like I said before, that this is just again for WWE and in AEW only, for just WWE and the AEW promotions, because that they are just the only two, wrestling promotions that I only, that I only get to see, and that I only really, that I've been watching over the, over these last few months. The only two that I only, that only have, my attention when it comes, to pro wrestling. But yeah, and that also, again, that for these wrestlers as well, like I said, to be in my top 5 list, that they have had to have been in action, as well for the majority of the past 7 months of, again, like I said, from January up to now, that they've had to have, they've had to have been in action, they've had to have been active for over the past 7 months. Again, for the majority of over the last 7 months, again, like I said, going from January to now, so that again, because that has to, be fair, and also as well, that there is again 2 separate honourable mentions as well. There will be also 2 honourable mentions before that I actually again reveal who's in my top 5 list. Before I do go into reveal who's in my top 5 list for this year, that as I did with last year, there is going to be 2 separate, honourable mentions, and that again of wrestlers, again, like I said, who haven't quite made my list, but that I just feel again that they deserve the mention. That they should deserve the mention, because I think they've, also had, pretty good years, decent years as well, and, and to give my reasons why again as well, just to give my reason why that they're, why they're honourable mentions, because like I said, this is narrowed down again to just top 5, so that's why that I'm having 2 honourable mentions, like I said, as I said before. So, again, for 2 wrestlers who haven't quite made the cut to be in my top 5, but like I said, I will again, they are still honourable mentions, but yeah. And like I said before, that just again, remember guys, that like I said, that this list again is for my opinion only. This is in my opinion, that this top 5 again is purely again based on my opinions again. So like I said before, that if you don't agree, if you disagree, like I said, to not again overreact, don't overreact, don't get funny about it, don't go all crazy or overreact or get overreacting to who I've missed out in my top 5 list. Because again, like I said before, that this is all about personal opinion. This is all about my personal opinion of who I think, has deserved to be in my top 5 list. Well, who is in my top 5 list. Because again, like I said before, we all have our own top 5 lists. We can all, give our own opinions. So that, again, I'm just, again, stating that. I just like, again, to state that at the start of the video, just so, again, that there's people, like some, certain people, again, that, like I said before, if you don't, agree with any of my picks, to my subscribers out there, or to non-subscribers, then, like I said before, just don't, again, overreact, don't get all... don't go all overboard. Just, again, remember, like I said, that this is my opinion. And that, again, it's for fun. This is purely, again, down to fun. For just doing it, like I said, because I want to do this list as for fun. To be for fun. And interactive, as I said, guys. To get interactive with my subscribers. And interactive with you guys out there, to get, involved with this. Well, not involved, but, to give, your top 5, male pro wrestlers of 2021, or who you think, again, should be, who like I said, if you want to, again, throw a name out there who you think should be in my top 5 list that I've missed out, then, again, that's fine. But like I said, just don't get all funny, or just don't, take it too far, or take it that seriously. Just take it, again, like I said before, with a pinch of salt. It's just a pinch of salt. And that's all it really is, guys. And that's why that, again, that I do these lists. As I said before, that's why that we do these, that's why I do these types of lists. Well, again, when I do, do them, because that, that I do it for fun. I do these for fun. Like I said, every now and then. And I did this again, like I said, in 2020, a year ago. So I want to do it again this year for 2021. In 2021, because that, again, there are some pretty good ones, like I said, that I have got. But like I said, what I will say, guys, is that with this top 5 list, that you probably, again, will already know, most likely, again, who's already going to be, at least in my top 5 list. You probably, again, already have a feeling, or you probably already are going to guess who I've chosen, well, as my number 1, or certainly, again, as my top 2, as both my number 1 and 2, who they are, because it's pretty, it's pretty obvious. Well, they are both going to be obvious. And like I said before, just to recap as well, that again last year, that my number 1 pro wrestler of 2020 last year, like I said, that I went with, that I had as my number 1 last year was Randy Orton. Randy Orton was my number 1, wrestler of 2020. So that, again, who could be my number 1 pro wrestler this year? Well, again, like I said, that's what you're about to find out. Or again, has Randy Orton managed, again, to still be my number 1, which, again, well, unfortunately, again, this time around that Randy Orton isn't in my list. But again, you still, again, never know. But yeah, so... But again, I still like Randy Orton again. Just to clarify that again, I still like Randy Orton. He's still, again, my all-time favourite wrestler. So that again, it's no, again, it's not again showing, to be, not again to not, again, not to say that I don't like, Randy Orton still. It's just again in this list. Because, that, like I said, I wanted again, like I said, to change this list a little bit, this year around, guys, to make it different from the list I had, last year, that I had done last year, of the wrestlers I had last year. So actually, again, because the other picks I had, well, the other wrestlers in my top 5 last year, just so that you, well, again, if you don't remember, I had number 5 was AJ Styles, number 4 was Jon Moxley, number 3 was Drew McIntyre, And number 2 was Cody. Well, Cody Rhodes now that he's again, using. So they were my top. Wow, they were in my top 5 as well. Those were my other. They were my other spots that I had. Well, those were the other wrestlers in my top 5 again. Aside from, from having Randy Orton as my number 1. So that was my 5 to 4. My 5 to 2. Sorry, that I had. And so, yes. But none of those wrestlers, again, like I said, just as a spoiler, that none of these wrestlers, again, that none of those this time have made my list. So there is none of them this time. There is no AJ Styles, Jon Moxley, Drew McIntyre or Cody Rhodes that are in my top 5 list this year. Because, like I said before, that I've made this list different. I've made it, a completely different top 5 this time around, because some of these wrestlers, like I said, that I've got in this list have really again had a good 2021, and that they all again like I said deserve to have they could have all deserved to have been in this list, to be fair, but as I said, because like I said that it can only come down to 5, it was just really difficult to choose, because there was again definitely some again that I had in mind. There was definitely a few, well, 1 or 2 that I had in mind, but like I said that that again when I get to my list, it is again like I said, it is pretty straightforward. Like I said, who I've gone with though as my number 1, well, and as my top 2, well, that's my top 2, but yeah, so without no more waiting though, guys, then let's get then into the countdown and into who has just missed out, on my top 5 male pro wrestlers, and who are my honourable mentions this year around. So that my number 1 honourable mention, and this is the wrestler again who has just managed, who's only unfortunately come up short of making the top 5. Well, making my top 5 anyway. Again, in my list is Big E. It is the 2021, the new 2021 Mr. Money in the Bank holder, Big E, who has just come off. He has just came off from, again, like I said, from winning the Money in the Bank briefcase a week ago at the Money in the Bank pay-per-view. But yeah, I mean, Big E, this year in 2021, he's had, a really good year, I feel, Big E, well, a solid year. And for his first year as well, where he has gone solo as well, without being with the New Day, without having Kofi or Xavier Woods, being at his side, well, without having them to, with him on SmackDown. Because again, if you want, again, to recap that again, that last year, that Big E in the draft in October last year, or was it November, that Big E was drafted separately to SmackDown, and both Kofi Kingston and Xavier Woods, because they were the Raw Tag Team Champions at the time, that they stayed on Raw, but Big E then again went solo, and he went on to SmackDown. He was drafted to SmackDown. So that again, like I said, took him away from, that again, like I said, meant that then he was on his own and without the New Day. But yeah, I mean, but then since that again, that Big E has been away from the New Day, well, I mean, again, there's still been like 1 or 2 times where he still has, where he still again, came out with the New Day, well, with both Kofi Kingston and Xavier Woods. Well, when you've had like both, when you've had like WrestleMania, and when there's like been like one of the big 4 pay-per-views, but I just have to say that Big E though has had a really good year, I feel, and that then, like I said, in December then 2020 last year, he won the Intercontinental Championship by defeating Sami Zayn. But and mainly again, just the reason again why that I've got Big E again, why I had to again have him as an honourable mention, is again, it's just down to his charisma. It's just simply again down to just Big E's, charisma. And just the fact, again, he's just funny, Big E. He can just, like I said, be, hilarious at times. But that also, again, that like I said, he's just really had to, again, to work his way up to be where he is now. And I just really think that, again, that just getting him again, to be on his own on SmackDown has just made him even better, Big E. And just, again, just to show that potential that we knew that Big E could have if he was, on his own, if he was a singles wrestler. Again, and even like prior to before he was with the New Day, that he did all right then because he won the Intercontinental Championship. But definitely, again, you can just see now that Big E has grown. He's just grown now, like I said, on from then. And obviously, I mean, yeah, and again, that he won, like I said, the Money in the Bank. He became Mr. Money in the Bank. Just only last week, as I said, over a week ago at Money in the Bank 2021, which he deserved to win that as well, Big E. We all thought, most of us, again, all agreed that, again, that he was the right choice to win the Money in the Bank ladder match, and he was deserved to that he deserved that to win, the contract. But yeah, so that's just really, again, the reasons why that's why I've got Big E there as my number one honourable mention. So again, that he is, again, just the wrestler who's missed out. But the other honourable mention and the second one that I've gone with here is definitely one, again, that you probably wouldn't expect. But I have, again, gone with, like I said, I've gone with one from WWE and one from AEW. So to make it, again, to make this, fair, to have one from each company, one from WWE and one honourable mention from AEW. But that, at number two then, I have, actually, again, like I said, one, again, who you won't expect, who nobody at all is going to expect, but he is Eddie Kingston, though. It is Eddie Kingston. Eddie Kingston, who I have as my second honourable mention, and that is, again, like I said, going to shock probably everyone who's probably just seen this top 5 list now. But yeah, the Eddie Kingston I have got as my second honourable mention here, because I've just been quite impressed with Eddie Kingston, and it's more or less been, over the last, couple of, weeks or so, that he's really, again, just kind of, been stepping up, Eddie Kingston. And everything that I think since he's teamed with Jon Moxley, when him and Jon Moxley as well, teamed up and they took on, they went up against the Young Bucks at AEW Double or Nothing, that, he just got, such a crazy, pop, and the crowd has, again, it's just really been getting behind Eddie Kingston. They've just been really, getting behind Eddie Kingston over the last few weeks. And then again, in him, teaming up with Jon Moxley as well, as I said, and that I felt, like I said, that him and Jon Moxley, should have again won, the tag team titles again from the Young Bucks at, back at Double or Nothing in May. But I just feel that, again, he's just a performer again, Eddie Kingston, that just gets kind of overlooked. He does, again, at times doesn't get enough mention. He doesn't get, much kind of, not publicity, but he just doesn't get talked about a whole lot. His name never really gets, that his name, again, doesn't get, brought up enough, really. And that I just think that, like I said, that in these last couple of weeks that he's really, last couple of months, should I say, definitely within the last, 3 months. So I think since he's turned face, Eddie Kingston, since, again, that he's helped out, Jon Moxley and all that, and going against the Elite, that I really just think, again, that fans have just been getting behind Eddie Kingston, and that they've supported Eddie Kingston, and that now that I'm one of them, I'm just one of those fans now that has seen, like I said, that has really, gotten behind Eddie Kingston now, that's gotten behind him. And and that's why that I've got him there as my second honourable mention. And that, yes, like I said before, it is a surprise, and that one for me is definitely the surprising one that I've went with there. That I've went with there as my other honourable mention there is Eddie Kingston. So both Big E there and Eddie Kingston are my number 1 and 2 honourable mentions. That's my 2 honourable mentions there that I've done from both WWE and AEW is with Big E and Eddie Kingston. So that then, guys, that finally now that this is it then, guys, this is what you've waited for now, is for me then to go over and to get then into my top 5 then. And here it is then, my top 5. This is my top 5 male pro wrestlers then, male active pro wrestlers in 2021 there. And who has made my top 5 of 2021 for both in WWE and AEW. And that starting off, that like what I did last year, I will go through my top 5. I will just say them. I am just going to say who they all are. Well, who's in my top 5. And then I will go quickly back over and to recap again that why they are in my top 5. Why, again, I've got them as my top 5. Why they're, So that's pretty much it. But here we are then. So number 5. At number 5, who was made my list this year, we're going to start with Darby Allen at number 5 in AEW. Darby Allen. At number 4, we have Riddle. We have Riddle at number 4 from WWE. Because again, I've got 2 from AEW that are in my list and 3 from WWE, which I forgot to point out. But yeah, so sorry again, I forgot just to mention that. But yeah, I have 2 from AEW and 3 who are in WWE. But yeah, again, I've got Darby Allen at number 5, who's in AEW. Riddle in WWE. And then my top 3 then, at number 3 then, and this is again, like I said, guys, this is where it is going to be, well, pretty predictable. But number 3 then, getting in my top 3, at number 3 is the WWE Champion, Bobby Lashley, the current WWE Champion who's on Monday Night Raw. Number 2, and then number 1 and number 2, guys, like I said, I could have gone either way with this. This could have again gone to either one of these wrestlers. Well, like I said before, you can take your pick on this one. You can go either way on this one with number 1 and number 2. But they're both, like I said, wow, they're both very close to call. They're both very, close to call, though. But number 2, though, and who's, my number 2 that I just, went with in the end, that this is who I went with. I went with Kenny Omega at number 2, who's my number 2 this year. Well, my runner-up, and he's at my number 2 spot. And then who's just beaten out Kenny Omega then, the wrestler who's beaten out Kenny Omega and who's taken my number 1 spot this year over Randy Orton from last year, is again, it's a shocker, it's Roman Reigns. Yep, Roman Reigns is my number 1 wrestler of 2021. Acknowledge him. No, I'm joking. But yeah, so Roman Reigns I have there as my number 1 pick of 2021, guys. It was pretty obvious again. It was pretty straightforward that I was always again going to go with that. That was always again in my head in these last few days. And again, you can't argue on that. You really, again, just simply can't argue there. That with either Roman Reigns or Kenny Omega, you really, again, can't see outside of those 2 right now. For me, at least, that are, my number 1 and number 2, pro wrestlers of 2021. But let's just quickly, again, go back, though, to recap then. So my number 5 pick then, at number 5 was Darby Allen. Now, with Darby Allen, that I just really felt, like I said, that 2021 has really, again, been his breakout year, Darby Allen. And that, again, before, that it's been a breakout year for him in AEW, like, even more so than last year. But he has, again, just really been one of those, again, homegrown stars that's come through in AEW. And he's just really shown, again, why, that, like I said, that why, again, that AEW have trust, that they're wanting to make him like one of their top stars, one of their main, stars right now in AEW, because that he really, again, has had just a really good 2021, in my opinion, Darby Allen. And it started, again, like I said, from when last year that he defeated Cody Rhodes and he won, the TNT. He became the new AEW TNT champion when he defeated Cody Rhodes at the 4 Gear pay-per-view last year at 4 Gear 2020. And then that since then, after when he took the AEW, the TNT championship from Cody, that then he has gone on to actually go on and have a record-setting 186-day reign as the TNT champion, with the TNT championship, which is the longest, again, reign that up to now, that as of now, that anyone has had with the TNT championship, which I think that he is also as well, that he is the third, I believe he's the third wrestler, the third TNT champion in AEW, Darby Allen, again, after Cody Rhodes and after Brody Lee, rest in peace. To Brody Lee there again, but definitely that for me, I just think that Darby Allen, though, just overall, though, that this year has had a really good year in AEW, and that he's been having really good matches as well. If you've seen, again, some of his matches he's had, they've been really good, but also as well that his mentorship with Sting as well, that the fact again that he has Sting. He's had Sting then as his mentor as well. The Icon Sting, when Sting came to AEW, that he, like I said, took Darby under his wing. Well, wanted to be Darby's mentor as well, which made sense. But just like I said, for me, that Darby Allen, again, he's just going to be, get even better for me in AEW. And, I mean, in the end, he lost the TNT championship to Miro. And that was when he was trying to go for 10 in a row. He was trying to go for 10 straight wins in a row. Well, defending the TNT championship in a row. But he, again, like I said, he did, lose to Miro, which I think was... it was maybe about 2 weeks before Double or Nothing. It came 2 weeks before Double or Nothing that he lost the TNT championship to Miro. I think it was on, I can't remember which one it was. I think it might have been like the 10th of May or maybe the 9th of May, something like that, on Dynamite. Well, I guess it was on again on an episode of Dynamite. But it was 2 weeks before, it came 2 weeks before AEW Double or Nothing, that was when he again, that Miro, ended Darby's reign. But still, that like I said, though, that just overall he's had a good year. And then whatever, again, that he's been doing, Darby, that fans, again, have tuned in. Again, that he's, like I said, that he's just definitely, again, got a following, Darby Allen. And the fact that, again, that, like I said, he's, 28 years old still. I think or 29 years old, Darby Allen as well, because he was born in 1991. So the fact, again, that he's still, again, like I said, got another at least, that he's, like I said, going to have so much longevity, like I said, in AEW, Darby Allen, but yeah, so just definitely there that Darby Allen, that's why I've got him there as my number 5, because for me, that again, he's become, he's just gotten more, better, Darby Allen, and so there we are. So Darby Allen there is my number 5, and then number 4 then I went with is Riddle. Now, I did again kind of debate on this one. This was the one really where I only kind of, was kind of, debating whether to have Riddle, whether I should have, had Riddle in my top 5 or not this year, because I did again consider actually having Cesaro. I kind of had Cesaro also in my head as well, so have been in my top 5. But that, because as of late that Cesaro's push has kind of, stalled a little bit again, that his push has kind of fell a bit flat. Well, not flat, but he's just kind of still again, that he's still, kind of, been losing a little bit of steam, Cesaro. So that's why, again, that I didn't end up, not, going with Cesaro. But it was close because I was thinking of either having Cesaro or Riddle, being, my number 4, being in this position. But though I went with Riddle though as at number 4 because that, like I said, that he has just had a solid year overall, Riddle, and that definitely that he's again, been entertaining as well, Riddle. And he's been funny as well, and his tag team as well that now that he's got with Randy Orton, Team RK Bro, and just some of his material, some of his comedic stuff that he's been doing, Riddle, on Raw. And also, again, he won the United States Championship. He won his first singles title at the Elimination Chamber 2021 pay-per-view in February. Back in February from Bobby Lashley, which nobody probably thought that was going to happen. And then he lost the United States Championship to Sheamus. He only held it for 2 months up to WrestleMania when Sheamus defeated him and that was a really good match he had though with Sheamus at WrestleMania. But like I said, just overall though, that Riddle again has just been a breath of fresh air. And that's why that I've had him there. That's why I have him there as my number 4. And because, again, he's someone different again, Riddle. Again, he's someone different. And, again, a breath of fresh air, like with Darby Allen as well. But like I said, with Riddle, that there's still so much more potential, like I said, with Riddle, though. And still so much more, again, that he's going to hopefully, again, that he's again going to achieve, with WWE. If he can, again, stay in WWE for the next, few years, but we shall see. But they should definitely, again, try to keep hold of Riddle right now because he is hot at the moment. He is a hot commodity. Commodity. I can't say it now, but you know what I mean. He's just definitely right now someone that's become, that's been getting, more attention, Riddle, as the past few months have gone on. And so there we go with that. And then, guys, like I said, to go over my top 3, although really, again, that I shouldn't really, again, have too much to say here. That I haven't really got much to say. But I've got Bobby Lashley as at number 3. As my number 3 pick. The almighty WWE champion, Bobby Lashley. And that really, again, this has been Bobby Lashley's best year. You have to, again, give credit to Bobby Lashley. And with the support he's had. With having MVP as well. Also, being there as well. Who's kind of been his mentor. Who's been in his corner as well, and that he's been doing most of some of the talking as well for Bobby Lashley. But just for Bobby Lashley, that finally, as I said, this year, that after 11 years, after 12 years, 13 years, that finally, again, that this was, again, when, that this year was finally the year when Bobby Lashley, like I said, though, won the WWE Championship, finally becoming WWE Champion in WWE. And again, that he defeated The Miz on Raw, back on Monday Night Raw on the 1st of March, 2021 edition of Raw, which was that was how he became WWE Champion, which was in a lumberjack match. And then, since then, he has gone on, to have a back and forth, feud for the WWE Championship, and has defeated Drew McIntyre. He's beaten Drew McIntyre 3 times as well in 3 title defenses, and defeated Drew McIntyre at WrestleMania 37 as well. And that just, again, the other week at Money in the Bank, he absolutely destroyed Kofi Kingston, Bobby Lashley as well, for the WWE Championship. But and that now, again, he's just, again, getting that now, that up to now, he's just, he's gotten even, more, aggressive again now, Bobby Lashley, and that he's been getting more, motivated. Well, that he's now got his focus back, as I said, because he's, now been, because he was, again, getting a little bit, complacent, as I said. He was, getting a little bit complacent, over at times. But but just really, again, that's why I've got Bobby Lashley at number 3, because he's just had a really good year. And just definitely that's why I've got him there as number 3. And that we will see again, like I said, what happens at SummerSlam, where again, we're most likely that he's going to, be probably, again, defending the WWE Championship against Goldberg, which, which doesn't, again, look good, which no one's going to be interested in, but still, like I said, you just got to hand it to Bobby Lashley, though, and you have to, praise Bobby Lashley for just, for just how long he's had to wait to finally, become WWE champion, to get back, to be at this, to be one of the top guys, and the fact that now as well that he's, at the peak of his, career as well, that he's 45 years old now. Bobby Lashley, I believe, he just turned 45 a few weeks ago, but that he still, again, isn't showing signs of slowing down, Bobby Lashley. And again, he's just been a monster. He's just been, a dominant monster. So that's why I've got Bobby Lashley there at number 3. And then at number 2 then, and just again, who's missed out on number 1 is Kenny Omega then, the current AEW World Champion, Kenny Omega. Now, like I said before, that Kenny Omega could have been number 1, but I've got him though at number 2. But again, it was really, really close though. It was a really close call between him and Roman Reigns. Like I said, who could have been my number 1 pick, but I went with Omega at number 2. And Omega, again, there's just not, a whole lot to say here with Omega, because, again, we know, the year he's had. Now, personally, like I said before, that Kenny Omega isn't, one of my favourite wrestlers. I'm not going to say that I've always, that I know, again, a whole lot about Kenny Omega, because, again, of when he was when he wrestled in New Japan Pro Wrestling, and when he was in the Bullet Club and all that I didn't really follow Omega a whole lot, again, in New Japan, or follow his career, in the Indies and New Japan, because, again, I've just only, just really followed, WWE, kind of, again, like I said. But that, again, where I have to give Omega, due, where I have to give him his credit is like I said, is that he is one hell of a wrestler. And that is, again, and I respect Omega. You've got to, that no matter what you think of Omega, that even though I can't, again, say that he's one of my favourite wrestlers, but I respect him. That I have got the respect for Omega. And you just, you still, can't ignore, like I said, that he has had, a great year as well, that he's had, that he won the AEW World Championship from Jon Moxley last year at Winter is Coming, special in December last year, and then that since, like I said, that he turned heel, like I said, and he's obviously then, like I said, been a heel ever since, and that and that, like I said, through all 2021, that he's that up to now still he's been he's still the current AEW World Champion, and that he's had some great matches as well with the likes of with Jungle Boy, and with Pac, and with Orange Cassidy at Double or Nothing in a triple threat match, which was a great match as well, and just and having matches with Rey Fenix as well. So that he's really had some really good opponents as well, Omega. Without a doubt, that he's defeated as well. Like I said, that he's had matches against. But yeah, but again, you just can't deny that like I said, that he is, a great wrestler, Omega. That I can't deny that he's not a great wrestler, and that's why that I've got him there at number 2. And so yeah, because I mean, like I said, because even though that again, I'm not really again either a fan, like I said, with what's going on with him in the Elite right now, with the Young Bucks in AEW right now, because it's just not interesting me really what he's doing, right now, Kenny Omega with the Elite. But I still, again, just like I said before, that he's, you can't again not admit, like I said, that he's had a great year, Omega. That he's had a great, reign as AEW World Champion with some of the opponents, again, like I said, that he's defeated. And we still, again, don't quite know yet who's going to be the one to, again, to dethrone him as the AEW World Champion. So that, again, but again, it just, again, goes to show, again, like I said, that he's, been the face of AEW now, Omega, one of their top guys. And so, yeah. But like I said, Omega there is my number 2 pick. But like I said, my number 1 pick, though, guys, that I went with again this year is Roman Reigns, who I went with as my number 1 pick then. Your tribal chief, Roman Reigns, and the head of the table. And like I said, there's little I have really here. Again, like with Omega, that I have to say about Roman Reigns, because we all know that he has just been killing it, that he's been killing it on SmackDown since turning heel again, since changing his character, and just, again, just showing, his real, just showing again his, true personality, his real personality in that. And then again, that he has defeated the likes of Kevin Owens, Daniel Bryan, Cesaro, and Edge, who he defeated at Money in the Bank last week. Now, because last year, again, that I didn't have Roman Reigns in my top 5 list, actually, last year. He missed out on my top 5 list because of the COVID. And because, again, he took that time off because of the COVID pandemic, where he wanted to be with his family and all that, and he quarantined for a few months. Well, in March that was, because it was right before WrestleMania 36, when he was going to face Goldberg for the Universal Championship. And then, like I said, that he came back and made that return. He, his return at SummerSlam, last year, when he, attacked both the Fiend Bray Wyatt and Braun Strowman. Before then he won, like I said, the Universal Championship then the week after at WWE Payback in that triple threat match against the Fiend and Braun Strowman to become, and that's when he became then the Universal Champion again, to become a 2-time Universal Champion. But yeah, like I said before, that just by far, again, this has been the best run, though, like I said, that Roman Reigns has been on. And again, that just, like I said, he's just had a great, he had, like I said, he had, a good, kind of, a good sort, like a decent kind of, end to 2020, Roman Reigns. But that was, again, just really kind of, that was still, again, just like the seeds. That was still just, again, the seeds being, kind of just like that again, that he kind of started again, okay as a heel, that he was doing all right to start with. But it was then really, again, that this year, wow, definitely then that we've just really seen, like I said, what the best of Roman Reigns again, and that we've just seen again, just how good of a heel he's been, Roman Reigns. And it's funny, again, because my top 3, again, that I've got in my list, again, are all heels. There's not one babyface, again, that's in my top 3 this year. Like last year, like I had Cody and Drew McIntyre as who were in my top 3 last year. So, yeah, I mean, I had Randy Orton as my number 1, but yeah, and like I said, as I said before, he's just, got an even better Roman Reigns. And that now that, like I said, that it seems likely that, again, that at SummerSlam this year, that finally we are again going to have, Roman Reigns, well, that we are going to see him versus John Cena, though. that we are going to get him and John Cena at SummerSlam for the Universal Championship at SummerSlam. Even though that, again, we are still waiting to see that. Well, we're still waiting to have, again, proper confirmation, because that Roman Reigns, again, refused to accept John Cena's challenge last week on SmackDown, and he's going to be facing Finn Balor instead, because Finn Balor came out instead to give a challenge to Roman Reigns instead, which Roman Reigns accepted Finn Balor's challenge instead. So he's going to face one-on-one with Finn Balor. Go one-on-one with Finn Balor, Roman Reigns. But that's going to be, still to happen. Well, to be scheduled. But yeah. So that is it, though, guys, there. Like I said, though, with my top 5 male pro wrestlers of 2021 there, guys. So I hope you enjoyed, like I said, going over that top 5 list there with me there of my top 5 male pro wrestlers of 2021. And then again now, guys, like I said, that it is now that I'm going to hand it to you now, guys, to give me again any wrestlers who you think who should have been in my list, who could have made my list, that didn't make my top 5 list. And again, and if you agree with mine, if you agree with the wrestlers that I've gone with in my top 5, then let me know. And just quickly, guys, to give my thoughts on SummerSlam as well, to quickly mention about what of what's happening for SummerSlam. That I'm going to again mention more about it again, in the next week or so. But that there is going to be, like I said, I am going to do a video next week to talk a bit more about SummerSlam. But like I said, right now, the early match card again, like I said, well, not early match card, but my predictions for SummerSlam now. As we are, 3 weeks approaching now. We're 3 weeks away from SummerSlam. And again, it's going to be happening on a Saturday. As I said, that it's going to be the first time that SummerSlam's going to be on a Saturday this year, instead of traditionally being on a Sunday. But that we have got one match that was confirmed on Raw this week, that Nikki Ash is going to defend the Raw Women's Championship against Charlotte Flair and Rhea Ripley in a triple threat match at SummerSlam for the Raw Women's Championship. And I also think, like I said, we're going to get Roman Reigns versus John Cena for the Universal Championship. Bobby Lashley versus Goldberg, like I said, most likely for the WWE Championship. Sheamus versus Damian Priest for the United States Championship, which I think is what they should go with. And this is like for the mid-card matches. Seth Rollins versus Edge, which I forgot to mention. Seth Rollins versus Edge. Damian Priest versus Sheamus for the United States Championship, which I think that's going to be, like I said, though, that's going to be a good undercard feud, though, going into SummerSlam. And I actually called that as well, because I actually called that, a few months ago, that I thought that there could be, that Damian Priest could go after Sheamus as well. And then for the Intercontinental Championship, I would say I would like to see Cesaro getting, a shot at the Intercontinental Championship against Apollo Crews. And that would again be a fresh match as well, Apollo Crews versus Cesaro for the Intercontinental Championship. Because that, again, I just really again think that, that again Cesaro again, that he again could still have, that again, that they still again need to, keep Cesaro. Again, if he's not again going to go after, the Universal Championship right now, then the Intercontinental Championship again is going to be the next best option. Well, next best thing for him is to go after Apollo Crews. So yeah, I think Apollo Crews versus Cesaro for the Intercontinental Championship. And then for the Raw Tag Team Championship match, I reckon that AJ Styles and Omos will face Team RK Bro, Randy Orton and Riddle for the Raw Tag Team Championships, most likely. And for the SmackDown Tag Team Championships, the Usos will probably face the Mysterios again, Rey and Dominic, for the SmackDown Tag Team Championships. And then for the SmackDown Women's Championship, I am hopefully hopefully that's again when we're going to see the rematch. We're going to get, hopefully, Sasha Banks, who's going to return and to face Bianca Belair in their SummerSlam rematch for the SmackDown Women's Championship. And so that there is kind of, like I said, my match card I would go with there for SummerSlam. As of now, that is, like I said, the best lineup for the match card for SummerSlam 2021 for me, that I would personally say right now. But again, as I said before, that I will again, like I said, do another separate video on SummerSlam again, though, to go into SummerSlam more, next week, because again, that will be in August then. And so, so like I said, guys, but thanks once again, though, for tuning into my top 5 male active pro wrestlers of 2021. And I hope, again, that you enjoyed it, guys. I hope you enjoyed this and how it came out. So like I said, guys, enjoy the rest of your day. And I am WrestlingFanForLife98.